I think within 6 months I'd run up £15,000 worth of debt on 3 credit cards, mainly due to socialising. I was lucky enough that my sister got me a pretty good job for like the first 6 months, working for a mobile phone company, but looking after the masts rather than selling the phones. And then I ended up working for British Telecom for about 3.5 years, and they helped me on my career progression, sent me on courses, and that was great. I mean, that was a good job. It was a managerial role. Because when I left the army, I went and you get to speak to your regional forces employment agency representative. So this was some retired officer who sat there and told me, 31-year-old ex-staff sergeant, that I shouldn't be looking at a managerial job. You'd actually be well suited in the security industry, being a guard maybe, plenty of opportunity in Manchester for the big buildings, you get on the front desk of a big building. And I just sat there going, that is not what I left the army for. I wish I'd gone back and seen him about a year or so later to tell him how wrong he was. I know that the forces now get a much better resettlement package. And I was just lucky that I landed a job with a good company who invested in me. And I've not looked back since, really.
Did you ever find yourself pining for your previous life and your army family?
Yeah, after the first 6 months, I phoned up the Manning and Records office and asked to rejoin. And it would have meant me dropping a rank down to sergeant. I was prepared to do that. They said no, they didn't have a vacancy for me, as my trade was being phased out. I think I might have upset somebody along the way. And then a few weeks after that, there was a rugby tournament on at my old regiment. So I took a few days off work and went and played in that and just helped out a team who was short of a player. And I got selected to play for my regiment again, which I had been doing previously by this young officer who didn't know me. So I had this glass tankard trophy for winning a prize in the tournament with the team that I was playing for, and we were all having a beer. And he went, right, who are you then? I said, I'm Daz Keelor. He said, right, who's your commanding officer? Because you've been selected for playing rugby for the Corps again. I said, I don't think he'll allow me to come. He went, why? Who is he? You tell me who he is. I said, it's Sir Peter Bonfield. He's the CEO of British Telecom. He went, what do you mean? I said, I'm a civvy. I'm not in the army. He said, well, you can give me that bloody mug back then. And tried to get hold of the tankard. All the lads were laughing, giving good banter. So I just kept hold of the beer mug, and I've still got it actually. So I missed the camaraderie, the banter. I think that's important. A lot of the veterans that I talk to down in Newquay, it's the banter. We have a guy who's got a mobility scooter, he's got bad respiratory problems, and he comes in the Legion for a pint, nudges a chair with his mobility scooter, and all he gets is like a little bit of verbal abuse on his driving skills, because he used to be in the Royal Corps of Transport, for like the next 10 minutes. But those 10 minutes he sat there with the biggest fat smile on his face, and his eyes have lit up, because he knows he's amongst people that he understands, he can get on with. And as long as he doesn't have too many beers, then he won't crash his mobility scooter on the way home. But that's important. Whether you drink beer or not, it's being amongst the people who are like-minded.
And Daz, what does Remembrance Sunday and Armistice Day mean to you?
Well, obviously, the wars and the conflicts that went before my time, it's not drilled into you in the army, but you know why you go on parade every Sunday and you march through the town where your regiment is based, and you take time to reflect you're taught in basic training about your regiment's battle honours and what those who went before you did for their Queen and country, but really for their mates, for their fellow regimental friends. And then with the people that I knew who are no longer here, whether I played rugby with them, whether I served in Northern Ireland with them or served in Bosnia with them, the lads who committed suicide whilst I was serving in my regiment or attached to my regiment, then it's time to pause and reflect. And for my family who are no longer with us, who passed away through one illness or another, but it's also a time to reflect on their service and thank them, as well as all the other fallen, for what they did to keep us British. And that's important as well to me, is our cultural identity is right, because we've earned it. We've earned it, and that is important.
And after hearing about what you went through in Northern Ireland, you worked with a bomb disposal team, you were a vehicle specialist, what would you say to anyone who's considering a role in the army?
Do it. You don't have to stick with the job that you sign up for. You can change. Get educated. Get your qualifications to help you, because now most of what you do in the military is you also get the civilian qualification, and the armed forces are doing that a lot more now. You will get the best training, you will make the best friends, you will never be alone. You can walk into any barracks, bar, naffy, sergeant's mess, anywhere in the world, and just sit down next to somebody you've never met before and go, "All right, mate, what do you do?" And you can strike up conversation. And that goes for anywhere downtown where you see somebody with a war veterans badge on, or somebody who just has a certain t-shirt or even walks a certain way. You know they've got a bit of bearing, they've got a straight back, or whether they're homeless on the street. You've always got somebody to talk to. You'll never be without friends. And being a veteran is something that you will be so proud of.